Alright, so I'll be doing a pre-trip inspection of my vehicle. I'm going to start off with the 5 lights up at the top. The property mount is secure, nothing broken is missing. All hardware is present. Amber in color. The 3 center lights are my ID lights. The 2 lights on the sides are my marker lights. Now I'm going to check my headlight assemblies, making sure that they're properly mounted, secured, nothing broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. They're clean and clear. They're not cracked. They're not broken. I have a clear bulb that serves as my high and my low beam. I also have an amber color bulb that serves as my 4-way emergency flashers, my right and left turn signals, and my running lights. I also have an amber color reflector on each of my headlight assemblies. Now I'm going to check front of my truck to make sure that under my truck there's no dangling hoses or wires. Everything's properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. I'm also going to check for any fresh visible fluids down on the ground. That could mean I'm leaking coolant, motor oil, fuel, or hydraulic fluid. I'm also going to take a step back and look at my truck and make sure it's not leaning. If it was to be leaning, that could be an indication of low air, flat tire, bad suspension, or an uneven load. Now I'm gonna pop the hood open with your permission. I'm gonna make sure I'm clear on this side, clear on this side. 3-point of contact, both hands on the hood, pull back. But before I do, I'll say clear, pull back. Now I'm gonna check the passenger side of the engine bay. Here I'll be checking my electrical wires and my hoses, making sure that they're properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. My wires do not have any cuts, frays, exposed wires, or excessive electrical tape. And my hoses do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. I'm also going to be checking my coolant reservoir, making sure that it's properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. It's not cracked, it's not broken. It has no leaks. I do not hear or see any leaks. If I need to refill my reservoir, I would remove the cap, fill it to the appropriate level, replace the cap back on. Also, I'm going to be checking my coolant reservoir hoses, making sure that they're properly mounted, secured, nothing broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. Also, they do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. My windshield washer reservoir, making sure that it's properly mounted, secured, nothing broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. It's not cracked, it's not broken. I do not hear or see any leaks. Also, if I need to refill it, I would remove the cap, fill it to the appropriate level, replace the cap back on securely. Now, I'll be going over to the driver's side of the engine bay. On this side, I'll be doing a general overview of my cables and my hoses, just like I did on my passenger side. Now I'll be checking my engine oil dipstick, making sure that it's properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. In order to check my engine oil level, I would pull out my dipstick, wipe it off with a clean rag, reinsert it, pull it back out to check the level. If I need to add more engine oil, I would remove the cap, add 1 gallon at a time, and then replace the cap back on once it's reached its full level. I'm also gonna go and check my frame, making sure that my frame from the front of the tractor to the rear of the tractor is properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. It has no illegal holes, no illegal welds. It's not cracked and it's not bent. Now I'm gonna check my steering system. I'm gonna be checking my power steering reservoir, making sure that it's properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. It's not cracked, it's not broken. I do not hear or see any leaks. If I need to refill my reservoir, I would remove the cap, fill it to the appropriate level, replace the cap back on. I'm also going to be checking my power steering reservoir hoses, making sure that they're properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. My hoses do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. I'm also going to check my steering column along with my U-joints, making sure that they're properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. My U-joints are properly greased, in good working condition, not worn out. I'm also going to be checking my gearbox, making sure that it's properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. It's not cracked. I do not hear or see any leaks. Also, I'm going to be checking my pitman arm, making sure that it's properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. I'm going to check my drag link, making sure that my drag link is properly mounted, secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. I'm gonna check my upper and lower knuckles, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, or hardware is present. I'm also gonna check my tie rod with tie rod ends, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, or hardware is present. And then my tie rod ends have ball joints at each end that are held by castle nuts and cutter pins in place, properly greased and in good working condition. Now I'm gonna check my suspension. I'm gonna check my spring mount, making sure that it's properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. My spring leaf, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. They're not shifted and they're not scissoring. I'm gonna check my U-bolts, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. I'll be checking my shock absorber, making sure that it's properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. I do not see any leaks. Also, my spring hanger down here, making sure that it's properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. Now, I'm gonna go and check my brake system. I'm gonna check my brake line and my brake hose. My brake line, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. My brake line does not have any cuts, frays, exposed wires, or excessive electrical tape. And my hoses do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. I'm also going to be checking my brake pads and my brake drum, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. I'm going to make sure that my brake pads and my brake drums are free of any contaminants such as dirt, oil, or grease, and they're not bluing on the inside. If they're bluing on the inside, that could be an indication of overheating. Also, my brake pads are not worn out less than a 1/4 inch. Now I'm gonna go over to my tire, making sure that my steer tires are properly mounted and secured. They have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts on both inner and outer sidewalls. They have even wear across all grooves. And if I needed to replace my steer tires, I would replace them with a brand new matching set. They cannot be recapped, re-grooved, re-threaded, and must be properly beaded to the rim, inside and out. Also, I'm gonna check that my tires thread is no less than 4/32 of an inch, and that can be checked by utilizing the proper measuring depth tool. My steer tires cannot have any chunks or gouges missing. I'll also be checking my tires inflation, making sure that it's anywhere between 90 and 110 psi, unless noted by tire manufacturer on the sidewall. And that inflation can be checked through the valve stem, making sure the valve stem is properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present, has a metal cap, and not touching any part of the rim. We'll be using the proper air gauge tool to check the tire inflation. Now we're going to be checking our rim, making sure that our rim is properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. It has no illegal holes, no illegal wells. It's not cracked, it's not bent, and it's round and true to its shape. No sign of heavy hammering as well. I'll be checking my lug nuts, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. I'm gonna make sure that there's no rust or corrosion around the lug nut. If there was any, that could be an indication of a loose nut or a broken stud. Now we're gonna be going over to checking our side of our tractor. We're gonna check our traffic monitoring device, making sure that's properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. I'm also going to be checking my tractor's side lights, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present, amber in color. These serve as my running lights and my right and left turn signals. I'm going to check my battery box and my cables, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. My wires do not have any cuts, frays, exposed wires, or excessive electrical tape, and my battery box has no sign of any leakage. I'm gonna be checking my DEF tank, making sure that my DEF tank is properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. My DEF tank has more than 1/8 of fuel, and that can be checked inside my tractor on my dashboard. I'm gonna be checking my electrical wires and my hoses on my DEF tank, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, all hardware is present. My wires do not have any cuts, frays, exposed wires, or excessive electrical tape, and my hoses do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Also, I see no leaks. Now I'm going to be checking my fuel tank, My fuel tank is properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. It's not cracked and has no dents. Also, not leaking. I do not see any sign of leakage. My fuel tank is held on by no less than 2 metal straps with a rubber seal in between. I'm also going to be checking my fuel cap, making sure that my fuel cap is properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. My fuel cap has a rubber seal inside, a metal chain, and a T-bar. I'm also going to be checking my hoses and my wires from my fuel tank, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. My wires do not have any cuts, frays, exposed wires, or excessive electrical tape. And my hoses do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. I'll be rechecking my frame, just like I did at the beginning of the tractor, making sure it's got no illegal holes, no illegal welds. It's properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. Now I'll be checking my fifth wheel coupling system, making sure that it's properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. My apron has no broken welds, and my skid plate is properly greased and in good working condition. Also, I'll be checking my kingpin and locking jaws, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present, properly greased, and my kingpin has no dents. I'll also be checking to make sure that there's no visible daylight between the apron and the skid plate. I'll also be checking that my release lever and safety latch are properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present and in good working condition. Also, my skid plate and my apron are properly greased. Now, I'll be checking my air lines and my electrical line. My air lines and my electrical line run from the rear of my tractor to the front of my trailer. My red line serves as my emergency line. My blue line serves as my service line. They do not have any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. My electrical line, which is my green line, is my pigtail. My air lines are held by glad hands at the front of the trailer that have a rubber grommet on the glad hands, and I do not hear or see any leaks. My air lines, along with my electrical line or my pigtail, are not low dangerously hanging and free of the catwalk. Now I'm going to be checking my trailer, making sure that my clearance lights up at the top are properly mounted and secured. Nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present, amber in color. I'm going to be checking my DOT tape, making sure that's properly mounted and secured, not ripped, not torn. It runs the length of my trailer on both sides, visible to the public. I'm also going to be checking my landing gear, my sand shoe, and my crank handle, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. Also, my sand shoe has enough clearance from my sand shoe down to the ground. There's no debris. And also, we have enough clearance from the rear of my tractor to my landing gear. And also that my crank handle is properly stowed away. We're also going to check my frame on my trailer and my cross members, making sure that they're properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. They have no illegal holes, no illegal welds, they're not cracked, and they're not bent. I'm also going to check my ABS line on my trailer, making sure that it's properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present, amber in color. I'm going to check my trailer's marker lights, making sure that it's properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing, red in color. Now I'm going to walk to the back of my trailer, and I'm going to check my clearance lights up at the top. My 3 lights are properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present, red in color. I'm also going to be checking my 4 tail lights of my trailer, properly mounted and secured, nothing's broken, loose, or missing. All hardware is present. They serve as my brake lights, my right and left turn signals, my emergency lights, and my running lights. Now I'm going to check my passenger side of my tractor and trailer to make sure I didn't miss anything, only noting the differences. This now concludes my pre-trip inspection.